Hey, everybody, it's Tim again, and it has been one hell of a year for Universal Monsters fans when you consider that we're getting some Universal Monsters product from NECA. Of course, we have Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Wolfman prior to this, and now we're finally getting Bela Lugosi's Dracula. The first one that came out just a little bit ago, actually, the Ultimate Count Dracula in color, the Transylvania version. And now, just on its heels, we're getting the Carfax Abbey version, which is the black and white version, Ultimate Count Dracula from NECA. And actually, before that, I mean, if you're a fan of Lugosi on Broadway, where he originated Dracula, we actually got a Jada Next Level 6-inch figure of Ultimate Count, or Count Dracula on Broadway. Now, the Ultimate NECA stuff, these are 7-inch tall figures. Let's start with a 360 look at this package. You're going to notice that right away, obviously, they have the black and white images. Difference between this particular release and the last Count Dracula, Ultimate Count Dracula from NECA, is that there are actually different accessories. You didn't get that with the prior releases of Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. You had all of the same accessories, except for they were all in black and white. But the difference is this time we have a lot more. So what I'm going to do first of all is show you that they do come into different, come in different packages. Both are original poster art for the films back in 1931. And of course, Dracula is coming up on its 92nd anniversary, which is February 14th, 1931. What a hell of a Valentine. Did they have Valentine's Day back then? I'm not sure. But anyway, Valentine's Day is the actual anniversary of the release of Dracula. So here we are just a day or two before that. So let's take a quick look inside of the package first of all. It looks very similar at first blush to the Transylvanian version of Dracula from NECA because of the figure and obviously because of the two portraits. And that's kind of where the similarities end. You do get the vampire bat as well and the extra hands as well. But once I take this out of the package, you're going to see the differences now. And of course, the Carfax Abbey version is when Dracula was in London. So he was walking around the streets of London with a top hat and he has a cane. What I'm going to do is pop this one out of the package so you can take a look at what this consists of, this package, all the differences between this one and the color version. And then, of course, as you can see, I have all the other monster releases scattered around the set. At some point, we're going to do comparisons too. Okay, I'm back with the unpackaged version of the Ultimate Count Dracula in Bela Lugosi's likeness. And of course, this is the Carfax Abbey version from NECA. And I'd like to thank NECA for providing me this early sample so I could show you all of the wonderful things about it. Because, hey, let's be honest, I think easily the most consistently great line in the last year or two for Universal Monsters, or any line for that matter, has been NECA. I mean, these guys have gone to the nth degree to make sure that we're getting quality stuff. And again, the big difference between this black and white version release and the ones before it, the Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Mummy, is that we're actually getting different accessories this time around. Now, one of the most noticeable ones is that top hat. And that top hat is removable, giving you a 360 look here. And there's the cape. Again, nice cape. The collar on the back allows it to fit on snug, which I really like. You don't have to tie anything around his neck or anything like that, like you've had to do in previous releases. And then another big difference is inside of the cape, it's actually gray. Now, if you look inside of the other cape for the Dracula I have in back here, this cape actually doesn't have any sort of lining. Now, one of my viewers wrote me and asked if that made a difference to me, whether they're a red or not. I have gotten red linings for some capes. I know like the Mego figure had red lining. for one of its releases, and then the other one came with the gray lining. So really, honestly, it doesn't make that much of a difference to me. It does look cool. I will say that much. But no, the Jada Next Level figure actually also had a gray lining for the cape. Now, when I pull this back here, what you can see, and let me just get him a little bit closer, is that he has gloved hands, or they're very, very white in comparison to the other hands that you're getting. But he is still wearing the ring, so it just could be that he's wearing the ring outside of the glove. So, whatever works, right? I mentioned the hat. The hat does come off very easily. You can put that on. It's just a cool extra that I haven't really gotten with any other prior Dracula, Bela Lugosi Dracula releases prior to this. So that's really cool. Also, you'll notice from this one to the prior release here is that he has the medallion around his neck. Okay, no medallion here. Yet at the same time, he isn't wearing that pocket watch, where he is wearing the pocket watch right here. Okay, so there's some differences there. Now, when I went back to look at the clips of the original Dracula movie, it's interesting because people spot these sorts of things. When he is walking in downtown London, he actually is wearing the medallion. It's only in later Carfax Abbey scenes that he is not wearing that red collar, which, again, you wouldn't be able to tell it was red, but he's not wearing the medallion. Okay, so I just thought that was an interesting thing to pick up on. As well as the other release, obviously this has different portraits you can put on. Let me take the cape off here. And that pops off really easily. The portraits are the same as the prior ones, okay? You got this I'm going to get you look, the come to me, and just before I'm going to sink my fangs into you look. And then he has more of a sinister look. Kind of has that look that he had when he was walking down the stairs to meet Renfield. Okay, so I like that. I like all the portraits. It's hard to choose. That's the one that I, for just regular posing it on my shelf sorts of situations, that's the portrait I like the most. I don't know why that is. But, if we eventually get a Renfield figure and before he sicks on him, maybe I'll put this portrait on. But here's a closer look at both these portraits here. If I can get it to focus better. And I don't want to spend too much time on that. There we go. Yeah, it's just like the other ones. I mean, these things are spot on. Of course, the only difference is that the color schemes are painted as such where, this is what he looks like in the black and white film. Okay, just down here on this table, I've arranged the hands. Okay, so these are the extra hands that you get. All right, and you do get, again, the bat like you did before. That's pretty much the same. The bat, the vampire bat, was black in that original release. So you're getting pretty much the same thing here, and there's a nice focus shot of that. And then let's just give you a closer look at Dracula up close here. And, the paint applications are just spot on, man. They really captured Bela's likeness in this release. And, yes, same molds as before with the color version, but you got to remember, there's still the paint to consider. So they highlight things like the cleft chin, things like that. They're just facial features of Bela Lugosi that really do come out with this release. Now, while I have him here, let me just put him on here for a 360 for, you can see the tailcoat, without the cape. It's just right down to every stitch is perfect. Even though this is plastic, you got the cloth cape, but, in a way to replicate clothing, every stitch is spot on. And that is really, really, really cool to me. So again, here's the cape. Again, the big gray lining. And I'm going to stop this here, and I'll slip on the cape to show you how easily that goes on and stays on. Okay, there you go. Yeah, really loving it. Now, together, you know, you can put these black and white figures, pose them next to him. Okay. And Frankenstein, of course. He's the tallest one of the bunch. There we go. We got all of the figures together from the black and white releases. Now, again, I would imagine that we are going to get a black and white release of the Invisible Man. If you can see from above here, I did a review of him recently, and there he is back with his book of formulas for his potions, mixing up a potion back there, talking to Larry Talbot. Of course, that was an extra that I purchased an extra Wolfman in order to get that Larry Talbot look and keep this one displayed as well. This Wolfman over here to the left here. So, you know, what's really cool now is that it seems these releases are coming at a fairly steady clip. So, as far as I know, I think we have Creature from the Black Lagoon, we have Phantom of the Opera, we have The Bride of Frankenstein, and then we have London After Midnight, that release coming later this year. So plenty in store this year from NECA for the Universal Monsters line. And look, I would imagine that hopefully it's not going to end here. Next up, of course, is the Dracula accessory set. And like the previous accessory sets, you can see them in the background. I got the mummy over here. I removed Frankenstein from his table there. But as you can see, I got the Frankenstein accessory set as well. And actually standing behind there is the Remco-style Universal Monster releases of Wolfman, Frankenstein's Monster, and the Mummy. So, yeah, I've gotten pretty much everything that this line has had to offer. And again, a big thanks to NECA for sending this stuff to me ahead of time so I can review it to you. And hopefully you've been keeping up with your collecting, and you can just see how awesome all this stuff looks together. Now, quickly, I've put both Draculas next to each other, both, again, in excellent head sculpts for Bela Lugosi in both iterations, the black and white version, Carfax Abbey, the Transylvania version, that's in color. Obviously, again, what you get with this release is the candle and the ornate candelabra, very well detailed there. Here, down here, you get the cape, and you get the top hat. So it's cool. I hope that future releases of the silver screen or black and white, however you want to deem them, figures have those little differences. I think fans will really appreciate those little differences. I know I do. So, you know, look, I don't mind if it's exactly the same. You know, some people might think, well, I'm just getting the same figure. Well, yeah, you are, but you're also getting this black and white version, the version that's all we know. I mean, this is the version of Dracula with Bela Lugosi that I grew up with. Can't say it enough. Horror Incorporated, Saturday nights in the Midwest. You know, the memories imprinted on me forever. So that's cool. Plus, you know, the color version. I mean, again, this is simply amazing, even though we have never seen, I guess if there were a colorized version of Dracula, I'd probably stay far away from it. I know people have strong feelings about that, and I'm with them. Let's just leave them be. There's just otherworldly nightmare quality about black and white films. So, you know, to get that representation, please give me both. I don't care. It's more Universal Monsters product that we're getting that we normally don't get. So I'm going to take a pause and try to get all these together in one big shot, and then we'll wrap up this video. Okay, here's a shot of the entire class together. Boy, that's a lot of monsters, isn't it? Of course, you have the Remco style retro glow-in-the-dark figures here. And here with the Wolfman, you have the new Dracula It's Carfax Abbey, black and white version. All the black and white versions of the Mummy, Frankenstein's monster, and the Wolfman. Of course, the new release is the Mummy. Then, of course, we have the Wolfman, Dracula, Larry Talbot, which again, that's an alternate portrait that comes with the Wolfman figure. There's the Frankenstein figure, and again, the Mummy, all those original releases. So a lot more to come. This has been a Monster Kid's dream, seeing all of this stuff come out. Again, big thank you to NECA. They provided me these samples over the course of a couple years or so to really, to show you and to talk about it. Again, I'm just thrilled to have that opportunity to do it because, again, this stuff is the reason I do what I do. I'm actually a movie reporter and entertainment reporter, and when you have films like the Monsters, the original Monsters films that kind of capture your fascination when you're a kid, boy, I mean, it just stays with you because there's just such great memories of that. Being scared with your brothers and sisters late at night on, Fridays, maybe Friday nights, Saturday nights for sure on Horror Incorporated. A lot of fun. So one more thing I'm going to do, I didn't think about posing it with all the other Bela Lugosi Dracula action figures that I have. So I'm going to come back for one final shot with that. Okay, here is my entire Bela Lugosi as Dracula action figure collection. Neglected to actually mention these last time. Bela Lugosi is Dracula. These are actually sanctioned by the estate of Bela Lugosi from this company called Retro Agogo. They're called Tiny Desktop Tears. Pretty cool. The likeness is pretty remarkable. I did a separate review video of that on my channel if you want to look that up. Over here we have the Mego version. Now again, this came out in both a gray lining and a red lining, but other than that, everything is pretty much the same. Here, of course, is the new Carfax Abbey black and white version from NECA, as well as the color Transylvania version from NECA. And again, I'd like to thank NECA for providing these samples for me because, you know what, I'm kind of biased. These are the best. I think you'll agree that these are the best. And then up on top there, this has been quite a few years, but this is the actual sideshow version of Dracula, 8-inch figure. Doesn't have nearly the amount of articulation that the previous releases had, but again, it was, to me, maybe one of the first times that a major company had gotten the license to reproduce Bela Lugosi's likeness with the Dracula figures. And one way you can tell, I mean, look, all of these have a great resemblance of Lugosi, some better than others. Again, I'm kind of biased to these two here. What you need to do is look at the package, and if you notice on the bottom, that's the official, if I can get that focused in, this is the official Lugosi logo. Okay, let me try that a little bit better. And that's pretty much the mark of approval right there. Okay, Bela Lugosi and Bela Lugosi as Dracula, Lugosi LLC. Now, you know, there are other Dracula action figures that have been sanctioned by Universal. That's fine. They just have more of a generic look. But again, it seems like companies are obviously more aggressive. They want to please the fans. So you get companies like, in this instance, NECA, you know, getting the likeness to, you know, the black and white and the color version. It might have been one in the same license, but basically Bela as Dracula. And Jada Next Level did that as well as Mego, Retro Go-Go, and a long time ago Sideshow. So with any luck, we're going to get Bela Lugosi as Igor at some point. That would be awesome. Right now, I'm just thrilled that we're getting these. Again, these are 7-inch scale figures. So let's just give it a quick measure. This actually probably comes up a little taller than 7 inches, which is really cool. Obviously, if you get a figure like a Frankenstein, it's going to be a lot bigger in scale. It's still going to be a 7-inch scale figure, but it's going to be much bigger. So let's give this one a quick measurement. Yeah, he's closer to 8, if you can see there. So Yeah, really cool. I mean, it's they have their own unique scale. NECA does. Again, big thanks to NECA for providing these samples to me to review for you. And just one more time, let's take off this cape. I want to give you a shot of just the main portrait that you get with the Dracula figure. And again, just for this particular portion of the video, I swapped out the hands. So he's got that come to me look going. I love that. How do you not love that? That deal where he's supposed to put you in a trance and mesmerize you. And yeah, I tell you what, these figures mesmerize me, and I'm so glad that they're coming out. My name is Tim Lammers, and I review cool movie toys. You can subscribe to my channel. Click on the lower right. You're going to see a subscribe button. Like this video. Tell your friends. Share it with all your Monster Kid friends, all your monster-loving friends, and I promise you I'm going to have a lot more coming up soon. Happy toy hunting, everybody.